show, Meagan DesChenes, the music executive for Hard Event, I should say. Is that your actual title? What do you go by? What do you like? What's your actual position?
Um, I have a lot of positions actually. I'm the executive producer of all hard events,
Hmm.
and I'm also the head of the entire talent department at Insomniac.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome. That's
yeah,
super cool.
yeah.
Um, so I obviously want to get into the hard events and what you do for work and everything like that, and that's why you're here.
Mhm.
But I kind of want to go back to like your childhood and like what kind of like what your path of like getting to where you are now.
Mhm.
Where first of all, where did you grow up?
I grew up in central Massachusetts
Oh wow.
in a very small town uh, called Paxton, and I moved to LA in 2007. So,
Okay. Did you have a big interest in music like growing up or?
yes,
Okay.
I was that person that I had a ton of friends that were in bands and they
Hmm.
were like playing, like your high school like showcases or middle school, elementary school. Like since I think I was in like sixth grade when I was very interested in helping find a way to like promote my local bands.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't realize that was like being a promoter at the time, but
Yeah.
um, when I got older and I saved up enough money for myself, I would go to my local like VFW halls and ask them if I could rent them out to
Mm.
throw shows. And it was like kind of like punk rock bands. So I was putting on these shows at the time with my friends to showcase all of local bands.
You said you
Which,
started when you were in sixth grade?
yeah, sixth
That's
grade.
nuts.
Well, sixth grade, I was like my town would do this like summer jam thing it was called, and I found out who was doing it, and I was
Mhm.
like pitching my friends' bands to play. Um, and then once I got older and got my first job and had some money,
Right, then you
that's when I
started.
started actually like financially like putting shows together,
That's
which
awesome.
to me it was just for fun. I was working to just take my money and spend it on having my friends'
Put it in.
band be able
Yeah.
to play somewhere, and I
Yeah.
didn't really look at it as an opportunity to make money. I just thought, it was just really cool that I had all these friends that were musicians, and then we would tour around the country, which is how I first came to California,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm gonna move there.
What did your parents have a big passion in music? I know like my parents, like my
Yeah,
mom was a huge concert goer, so that's kind of how I got into it originally, is
yeah,
just growing
like
up around it.
yeah. My parents, my dad was always taking me to concerts and supporting my music, my love for music. My dad and my mom are huge like Beatles fans, so
Mm.
we always grew up listening to the Beatles. But when I was younger, my dad, because I was in Boston, my dad used to drive me all the time to New York City for TRL. And back then, like there would be fans that you stand outside and
Hmm.
you just like because you want a glimpse of like someone. And my dad was always such a trooper and he would take me there, and then he would take me to Warp Tour because they had like a parent lounge, so we'd
R.I.P.
hang out in the parent lounge, yeah. And he would take me to all the Warp Tour, so he always was very supportive
That's awesome.
of
How do
my
you
music.
feel about like parents like bringing? I mean, EDM. I guess this scene is a little different. It's a little bit more
Mhm.
adult centered, but
Yeah.
I do know that there are all age events. How do you feel about like parents bringing their kids to events?
I think if it's like I always say, like if I ever have a kid, I probably would bring them to like
Hmm.
an all age event, but I know I'm experienced in going to one, so I know where,
Right.
don't stay too late or like
Yeah.
don't be in the front, like be in the back, protect their ears. Like if you know and you're like a professional
Yep.
festival goer and you
Yeah.
want to raise your child into that, then I feel like it's cool if you like understand.
Yeah. And for you, like you, and then I know also you work closely with Pasquale. He brings his kids to a lot of the
Yeah,
festivals,
yeah,
and yeah,
exactly.
and it's a little different, I guess, for you guys because you do kind of get the backstage and you get like some
Yeah, yeah.
more protective areas. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So going back to how you got kind of into music, did you attend college at all? And if you did, what for?
Yeah, I did attend college, but I never finished because I
Okay,
got a job opportunity in LA and I took it.
got it.
But I did go to Boston College for just business,
Okay,
like basic business
yep.
studies. Yeah, I did 2 years. I got this opportunity to move to
Mm.
LA and get a job working for American Apparel, and I knew I wanted to move to LA. So I was like, this is when am I going to get this again? Like I could cross my fingers, hope I finish school and get another opportunity, or I take this one and just trust that uh, I can make it
Yeah.
without a college degree.
And luckily you did. Obviously you did very
Yes,
well.
yes.
So you originally moved to LA to, you said, to work for who again?
American Apparel,
Okay.
the clothing
Yep.
brand.
What
Mhm.
sort of position did they offer you?
I was doing a lot of things there too. Mainly, I was in charge of all of the customer service for online orders, and
Mm.
then also making sure that the website was like it was like product management, I guess. When I worked at American Apparel, it was like in when it just kind of started, it was in its peak, and it was kind of like
Yeah, it's a
very
huge brand now.
grassroots. Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like very grassroots at the time.
That's
So we were
cool.
all doing everything. So I would like have to make sure that the product that you're buying on the website is the right product because sometimes the pictures were off, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, so like all that.
When did like the hard brand kind of happen? What was like the early
Yeah.
phases of
So
that?
yeah. So from going to these clubs and also working at American Apparel, I had a couple local LA promoters approach me and say, "Hey, like we see you out all the time. We would love for you to help us pass out flyers for our clubs and spread the word. And if you could, let people know that work in American Apparel, just kind of like be a promoter, we'll pay you." Um, to do this, and I thought, oh, well, I'm already going out every night now, so
Yeah.
you're just I get to just talk to people and like get paid for it. So I started doing that, and because I was out all the time, the founder of Heart at the time saw me going out
Hmm.
and told me that he has an event that he's going to do and needs someone to promote it. So I started passing out flyers for Hard, and at the time, I was he's now my husband, but I was going out a lot with him. We were both doing it together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
um,
So what was that first event that was the first event you did for Hard then, or were a part of?
it was the first Hard Summer.
Oh
So the first
wow,
Hard was in 2007. So the first Hard Summer was in 2008,
that's
and
awesome.
that is
Where
the
was
one.
that?
Gosh, the one in 2008, uh, the Shrine, I
Oh
believe.
wow, yeah,
Yes.
I just went to an event. I just saw Alice in Wonderland there like that a few months ago. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And then and then to see where it's gone, and it's at the NOS, back at the NOS now, but it got
Yeah,
all the way to
we've been at
Fontana,
so
and
many.
how big it's gotten
Yeah,
since then has been insane.
yeah, we've been at so many different venues, which is why I drew a blank for a second.
Yeah,
Because we've just grown to so many different venues and been in so many different places. But it's
that's so cool.
great to see it grow and
Yeah,
yeah.
it's now what, doing the math on this, too, like 18, 10 plus. It's been like
I know
what,
it's
16 years? No, somewhere in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now with that COVID year, we didn't do
yeah,
hard, so now I always have to pause. It's like, how many hard summers has it been? Because then we didn't do one in
yeah, yeah.
2020.
Was
Yeah,
it? It was just that year that you guys missed. It was. Oh yeah, because I went to
yeah.
2021. That's right. Yeah, it was just 2020.
Hmm.
Yep. That's
Hmm.
yeah. That's good that you guys during that time. How did you kind of stay afloat during COVID? Like, I know we kind of all took a hit in the music industry,
Yeah.
financial wise. What were you doing during that time?
We were very active during that time with our all of our live streams because we
Hmm.
just really wanted to make sure that we were providing music and a place for even we're stuck at home, just
Yeah.
a place for our community to be able to tune into and feel something more than what was going on at
Right.
the time.
That
Most of the
saved me so many times. Like I was like, man, I want live music back, but that
time.
definitely did the trick for me. And how well you guys put together, especially you're the Insomniac team. That was
Yeah.
amazing. Because I know there was a bunch of smaller ones. Brownies and Lemonade did one. Proximity was another
Oh
one.
yeah.
There was a couple other things, and even individual artists were doing their own live streams and stuff. But I think the production value that you guys like had was no one could even compare.
How we do it
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
awesome.
And then we transitioned to like drive-ins, and
Yeah.
I was doing all of those too.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys
So
still like, because I saw the marketing and all the promotion for it. I'm glad that you guys still streamed those because that was also fun to
yeah,
watch and keep up on.
yeah.
So when you first started with Hard Summer, was it? You said you were getting paid and stuff. Was that did you transition from the American Apparel into how long did that transition take?
That transition took. So I was passing out flyers, and then I was working those shows.
Mhm.
I didn't actually wasn't able to quit American Apparel to full time focus on it until 2012.
Oh wow, 4 years.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah. At that time too, you have to remember, passing out flyers was one of like the only ways to really get to find out
Yeah,
what's
there
going
was
on.
no
Because
big social media back then.
right,
Yeah.
there was MySpace, and that was one of my jobs too, was to like every hour to have to like post a MySpace bulletin, like go to Hard Summer.
Damn.
Yeah. So that was technically doing the marketing.
Hmm.
That's what that was part of the marketing team.
I saw that 5 years later in 2017 is when you actually became the head, right? The head, like the main, what your position is now.
Yes.
How did that opportunity kind of happen for you?
So that happened because the founder of Hard left
Mm,
after his contract was over, decided not to renew his contract, and decided to start something new.
got it.
So then I was, it was just me. Uh, and then Pasquale was, so amazing with the
Hmm.
transition, and um, officially Hard moving over into the Insomniac umbrella. Um, it was he was like, this just makes sense
Yeah.
that you run this because you're just so attached to
Right.
it.
You've been there since the very start. Yeah.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
how is it working? Kind of as closely as you do with Pasquale. I've met him a couple times, but I don't. I've
Yeah.
never like connected with him on like a very personal level. But how is it like? You're pretty much like one of the main people that are in contact with him like on a day-to-day basis, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah,
are. He's actually just pretty very accessible,
that's
considering,
awesome. Yeah,
the big company he has to lead. I am so grateful for him. He's such a great leader, a great mentor. He's always there when I need him with questions. He helps guide me through a lot of things, and he's just a really great leader. And I know it shows at our events, and just how he interacts
yeah,
with all the headliners.
yeah.
It's really great.
Well, how
Uh,
what's your day-to-day kind of look like? At being in the position that you're in.
every day is different, which is why it's really exciting
Yeah.
to work in the music industry. Uh, you know, I am in a lot of meetings, but it's from everything from production, how we're going to plan, talent buying, who we should book, marketing ideas, how we're going to roll something out, when are we going to roll something out, um, just just kind of planning every little
Yeah.
detail. So every day, just in meetings with groups and teams. I'm very blessed. I have a great team of people, um, that really creative people, that help support and make the show what it
That's awesome.
is.
You said that you work for Insomniac, like the talent division, but then you also obviously run like the event portion too. How much of that kind of goes hand in hand?
It goes very hand in
Yeah.
hand, because especially every show is different, but with Hard, we're very lineup
Hmm.
driven. So it always starts with the
Got
lineup.
it.
It starts with who do we want to book, who's available. There's a lot of
Yep.
factors too with booking talent. It might seem a little easy, and then we get those comments like, "Why didn't you book that person?" And I always want to reply like, "Oh, if you only knew we
Yeah, it's
tried,
like because
we
that person's on
really
tour, that
tried.
person's out of the country, that
Yes,
person, yeah.
right. Yeah. Or like, I really just don't have the budget
Yeah.
to book them. I wish I did. We don't have unlimited
Yeah,
money
right,
all the
yeah. For sure.
time.
I think it's interesting
Yeah.
too, at least for Hard Summer, how much I know EDC has done this in the past as well, but not this past year because this past year that just had the EDC that just happened was actually my first EDC ever. Amazing time. But I've noticed that you guys include some like rap industry people as well. How does that like? Why did you guys decide to do that? Since Insomniac is such like I know it's like a major like festival brand,
Right.
but like it's mainly electronic music. Like
Yeah.
who kind of thought of that idea? Why do you guys do that?
Well, Hard has always done that
Okay.
since the first Hard ever. So the first Hard Summer into that was an eight. NERD, like
Hmm.
Pharrell's group,
Oh yeah. Hmm.
was the headliner. So we've always mixed it up between electronic music, just not being stuck on like one type of genre, but
Right.
being open to all types of genre, not even just hip hop. We for Hard this year we have acts like Joji, who is
Yeah,
kind of in his own,
I haven't heard of them. What kind of style is that?
it's like bedroom
Hmm.
pop-ish, like um has a lot of electronic crossover to it, but it is definitely it has its own little
Yeah.
lane, Joji. And um, so we've always just kind of booked all different genres since the first Hard ever. So it's really a hard thing that we just stick to and stay true to how we started,
Right.
and just really just booking like a little bit of everything to just showcase all types of music.
Yeah, it's definitely because I think and you guys are both in Southern California, but I think like you guys are the Hard Summer event is very much like in competition with like the Coachella event. So
Hmm.
I feel like that was a good kind of move for you guys. If you guys are kind of head to head, it's like they have like a
Right.
very diverse lineup, and I think it's smart that
Hmm.
you guys include other things. What was the reasoning for like not including? It was just kind of like you couldn't get someone to play for EDC this year. I was kind of surprised that you guys didn't have a rap artist on the lineup this year.
Yes, it just depends
Yeah,
on, yeah, timing and what we have, and we just sometimes have so many options. It's difficult to
yeah,
pick. But we did have, Snoop Dogg came out
yeah.
as a
I'm so
surprise.
mad I was not at
Uh,
that set. I saw Jaws's post afterwards, and I was like, man, that's
No, it was a good one for
super cool.
sure. So we try
Yeah.
to, have a little bit of
Yeah.
surprises and stuff.
How does that work with like building a festival lineup? How does that work with like doing like the back to backs and like having a special guest and stuff like that? I always thought it was like originally I don't know if this is technically how it works. I always just thought it was like, oh, they're friends, like let's try and plan and be at the same like it was more of like on the artist and their management, but it seems like that's not the case and it's more like you guys putting it together.
Sometimes it's
Okay.
both. Sometimes it's like we really want to book an act, but we're like, well, we've booked them the last three
Mm,
years. What can we do different? And we
got it.
collaborate with the management and the agent and say, hey, are they working on any new music with other artists
Yeah.
coming up, and they can do it back to back. So we kind of just all
That's
collaborate
cool.
uh,
Yeah,
on
I'm
those.
excited to
Yeah.
see I'm unfortunately not going to be able to make Hard Summer this year, but I'm excited to see the footage
Mhm.
from Subtronics and Zed's Dead that back to back this year. That's
Yes.
going to be awesome.
Yes. It
Very
is.
very awesome.
Yes.
We kind of talked about your day to day roles, but like, what are some of the things that you kind of like? What are some of your challenges that come up being in the position that you're in?
There's challenges every
Yeah.
day. A big challenge sometimes is just um, being able to stay on top of
Yeah.
everything.
A lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and to stay focused when you have a lot going on. Sometimes it's hard, but that's definitely a big challenge. We have so many challenges. I mean, look what happened in 2020.
Yeah.
I never thought that I would have to prepare to figure out how to produce a like drive-in
Hmm.
event. Like now I
Yeah.
know, now I'm an expert at drive-ins at this
Yeah.
point. But there's always some type of challenge, whether it is something on that side of it or a production challenge, or just challenges with, you might have a dream lineup in your head and you only get a little percent of it. Um, and there's, you know, just challenges with um, just staying focused. Sometimes there's days where I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like I want to give up, but you just have to power
Yeah.
through that, because if I ever gave up on the times where I told myself, man, just give up, I would not be here right
Hmm.
now. So that's something I always say to everyone looking to uh, to do this, is that you
It's
just
tempting to want to give up at some point. Like I've how
yeah,
many
and
times I've thought about that? Yeah, it's like but you're not going to reach your goals and your dreams if you
mhm.
do. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it's easier to give
Yeah.
up, you know. So there, you always have that
Yeah.
chance to back out, but you just gotta try to fight that and just keep
And I think
moving
the
forward. And
ones that really do succeed are the ones that actually, for me, like I enjoy the challenge. I really do. Like I
yeah,
like the challenge. It's one of the things that draws me to
definitely.
it. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Because then it's not boring. You're not just doing the same
Yeah.
task every day. It's like the challenges are what keep you on your
Exactly.
toes.
I kind of wanted to go
Yeah,
back to the whole drive-in and kind of COVID
yeah.
time. Where did those
Hmm.
ideas come from with like the live stream and the drive-ins and stuff like that? Like I mean, you guys are kind of like the leaders of that, obviously. Like, how did you
Yeah.
guys come up with it?
Um,
Mm,
Pasquale just comes up with all like these ideas on how to, you know, keep um, our fans engaged and not just be like, okay, bye, we're not doing events, we'll see you whenever.
right.
You know, it just really was like we got to find a way to keep all of our community
Hmm.
together and strong.
What do
Um,
you think would have happened if like you guys did kind of like let COVID take over and didn't really do anything? Like I know the community
I
aspect was a big thing, but like
know
I don't know. I feel
we would
like
have never done
yeah, I felt like
that,
Insomniac is such like a big company that like you guys
but I
wouldn't have struggled that
know.
much, but it was awesome that you guys took the initiative and like still did that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, it just would have been, you know, it just would have been rough to be
Yeah,
disconnected to our community for that
yeah,
long,
that makes
you
sense.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing that I think that is more personal to your story is the challenge of being a female in such a male dominant industry. What sorts of
Yes.
things like do you think it's been harder for you being a female in this industry?
Yes, because I mean, things are definitely
Mm,
changing now,
yeah.
and Insomniac is really good at diversity, and there's a lot of women that work here. But before, I was always like the
Hmm.
only female. And it's challenging sometimes when you're in a business that is sometimes really based on
Yeah.
relationships, where, you know, my male coworkers could go, you know, they'll be like out golfing with like an agent or a DJ, or, you know, having like a bonding where it's like sometimes a little different with a
Mm-hmm.
female of getting that like relationship with the artists and the managers and the agents, because they're all men too. And you know, I always did find that I had to kind of uh, speak a little louder and hold my ground, and to be taken serious sometimes in different rooms with people. But I am very blessed that I'm here at Insomniac, and Pasquale has given me so many opportunities, and I've never felt like my gender held me back here at
That's
Insomniac.
awesome.
So, but, for sure, in the
Yeah.
beginning, there's definitely a challenge. Um, and it's hard when you don't have like another female
Right.
to that's also, you know, just to at least like
Right. If
bond
there's two of you,
with.
then it's like, okay, we're in this together. But like for you, it's like I'm by
Yeah,
myself in this. Yeah.
yeah. I was very lucky with Hard that there was another
Oh,
female
that's
on the
good.
team that really helped me and showed the way. And I really probably wouldn't even be here right now if it
That's
wasn't for
awesome.
her. So I'm blessed I
That's
had that.
excellent.
Um, yeah.
How many other women are in your position? I mean, even just like in the industry, like as a whole.
Oh, wow. I don't know. There's not
I didn't
that
think so.
many. Um, Yeah, there's not that many. We do have female like talent buyers
Yeah.
here at Insomniac. But and we have um some promoters too, and people and other females that I'm training to
Mm.
be promoters as well. But there aren't that many that do like big festivals. But there are some. There's a
Yeah.
handful.
That's is there a hunger at all now that things are kind of changing to like like bring on more diversity? Are you guys like looking for females to be in the industry and work for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we want everyone
Right,
to
right,
work for us.
right.
But yeah, it's good. I think what helps is, um, I know with me, I didn't have someone in like the position
Hmm.
I'm in now when I wasn't in this position to look up to be like, I want to be like
Right.
her. So I think it's something I really try in my position now is to really mentor and motivate females that are working here at Insomniac or not, even interning. A lot of women DM me all the time with asking for advice. So I just want to be there as a support system to just show other women that you can be in this
Yeah, that's awesome.
position.
Very awesome. So, in the times that you said like when there's like male events and stuff like back in the day when there was like kind of like
Yeah.
that separation that you felt, was there times when guys within the industry, men within the industry, that would kind of like challenge you in the position that you're in?
Yeah,
How
yeah, all
how
the
do you
time.
like overcome that?
I just don't take it like
Okay.
personal. Um, you know, I used to, when I was
Yeah.
younger, get really upset about it, but then I just would tell myself, I need to I believe in myself and in the position I am in. And if they don't want to take me serious or they undermine me, then they'll learn the hard way.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. And it's awesome that you have a team behind you too to kind of be like, nah, she's the boss
Yes.
lady, so yeah.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. It does happen
Yeah.
sometimes. It's like, um, you know, but but you just gotta
Keep
believe in
going.
myself. You gotta believe in
Yeah.
yourself. That's really what I always tell people is you just have to believe in
Absolutely.
yourself. Don't expect other people to always believe in you. It's all about how you feel
I
about
almost
yourself.
feel like, especially early on in this industry, it's really like at the beginning, you are the only one that believes in you, and you're the only one that's gonna
Yeah.
force yourself to show up every day. And like until
Yes.
like once you start like then getting some traction, whatever division you kind of go into, whether you're an artist or a promoter or in your position or
Hmm.
whatever it may be, a manager, then you kind of have that like other people around you kind of like assuring you like, okay, this is where you're supposed to be. But I the last guy, I started this podcast a couple years ago, and it's like at the beginning it's like your download numbers and like people who like recognize you and like all that stuff. It's like I was the only one. I would just keep pumping out content, and now it's finally like you just can't give up. Can't give up, and I think that's the message that I try and
Yeah,
tell everyone.
exactly. That's what I
Yeah,
can't give up.
yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
eventually, people will start to catch on and see that you are good at what you do.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah,
exactly. Because there's also something about when you believe in yourself, you have this certain level of
yeah,
confidence. And like when you have this level of confidence when you're engaging in conversation with people, they're more in tune to being like, wow, like I can feel that they are
hmm,
passionate and they believe in what they're saying, so
yeah,
I'm going to believe,
yeah.
exactly what they're
Sales
telling me.
101. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Last couple questions, and I'll start wrapping up here. One is,
Mhm.
what would you tell other young women who want to be in like the festival curation space? What's like your one like main advice to other women?
Yeah, to other women is to just don't give up. Believe in yourself. There will be people on that you meet along the way that might discourage you, but you will meet people that believe in you. And you just have to keep those people close, but also just keep reminding yourself why you're here and don't let other people's negativity steer you away from
Hmm.
your dreams and what you want to do. And and that's why I'm very open when people ask me this question is, do you have challenges being a woman? I say yes, because I don't want to paint this picture like, oh
Right.
no, it's fun. No, but there is challenges, but you know what? As humans, we all face challenges in many different ways, and it's just how you
Yep.
look at those challenges, um, is how you'll overcome them.
Absolutely. I wanted to go back to this year's Hard Summer since we're a week away.
Yeah.
What can we? Is there anything that you guys are doing differently? Don't spoil it, but is there anything that you're looking forward to specifically for this year that you guys are trying differently, or anything that you can kind of give away?
I'm looking forward to a lot of the music acts. As far as like things that we're doing differently, we have a little more shade, um, more like misting, water features, just things to provide more comfort for everyone because it can get a little hot. That's why we have it starting at 4 p.m.
Oh
and it
yeah,
used to start at 1 and be like in the dead heat for a long
yeah.
time. So we pushed back a little later to avoid that, and then we're ending a little later. We used to always end at
Yep.
11 p.m. Last year we ended at 12 a.m. Now we're ending at 1 a.m. So, um, you know, there's going to be just some new photo op
Sweet.
opportunities, just some new decor around. Um, but I'm just excited to have everyone come together and enjoy the great
Oh
music
yeah.
that we
I wish
have.
I could go. I'm sad. I went every year other than the COVID year. I've been going every year since
Um,
2018. It's the first year I'm missing, so
oh
I'm sad.
wow.
But
No.
I was gonna ask with the new stage structures and stuff like that, and kind of the things that you're adding to it. Is that part of the reason
Yeah.
why you guys left Fontana?
Actually, Fontana is under
Oh,
construction.
got it.
Their construction like got pushed. Their construction got pushed, so wo- um, we we could have gone back
Hmm.
1 year. I think it was last year, but we just didn't want to keep flip
Yeah.
flopping like from venue to venue. So we're at NOS right now, but we'll see what the future
I'm
holds
hoping.
for
I loved
us.
it. I
Yeah,
loved it at Fontana.
yeah. It's funny because when we were doing it at Fontana, we always had so many people like, I hate
What the
that
heck?
venue, and then I know, and now we're at NOS, and everyone's like, I want
Yeah.
that venue, and I'm just like, wait a
Yeah,
minute, let me
right.
get used
I
to
think it's
it.
just because for me at least, I went to like almost every Insomniac. I went to Escape. I went. The only one I didn't go to last year was Beyond at NOS. So I was like, just like
Oh,
I
okay.
went to NOS like 5 times, 6 times. I was like, like Hard Summer was just like
Yeah,
because I guess
just really
yeah, like it's
different.
just a different
Yeah,
like experience. I feel like, but
yeah,
awesome. Well, we'll
for
wrap up
sure.
here. How can the listeners support you? And where can they find you at?
You can follow me on Instagram if you want, but at Metal Meg. If you want to know what's going with Hard, you should
Yes,
follow Hard at
yes,
Hardfest. Um, yeah,
awesome.
and that's how you can keep up to
Last
date.
question. I ask this at the end of every single interview. If there's one piece of advice you could tell yourself when you first started your journey into music, what would it be and why?
First advice. Um, that's a good one. Um, I wish I could tell myself in my earlier years that don't fear like speaking up
Mm,
for yourself and being vocal about your wants and your needs and your dreams because a long time, I would just stay quiet on like my goals because I thought I can't impose. I don't want to put that out there. But the minute I started saying I want to do this, I want to run this, it
yep.
started happening. So I wish I did that
Manifestation.
sooner. My journey probably,
Yeah.
yes, my journey probably would have been so long. I always said it in my head though. I was like, I'm gonna
Hmm.
run this one day, but I just wish I spoke up more back when I first started and didn't just stay quiet because I was scared. I was scared, well, if I speak up, are they gonna think I'm that annoying girl and fire me? But I wish I was a little more fearless
Yeah,
then, but now I'm
that's awesome.
fearless.
Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Of course. Yes,
Have a good
thank
one.
you.